Hi everyone, I just want to try to pick up where I left off with some of these tables, and I just wanted to show you how the Donald Trump tables seem to converge with the Obama headshot tables, and the point where they seem to converge at is Jeremiah 4, which is all about the destruction of Babylon. And just as a review, I just want to show you how that works out. If you put in Donald Trump President-elect, just take the rest of that out, you see that you have 111 matches, and I had pointed out how that almost looks like 11-11, and of course it was in the 11th month when Donald Trump was elected president, and it was the second month on the Hebrew calendar, which is the month of Heshvan. So that was coming up in the table, but what also was coming up was the 20th day of the month, and of course the first day in office would be in the first month. So if you put in first day, first month, you see that it comes up with 20 matches, and so that almost looks like January 20th, which would be his first day in office, and it would be the first month. And then you have the 20th day also written in the text. Right here, you see the 20th day of the month. But what I noticed is the point where it seems to converge with the Obama tables. If you put in Donald Trump, President-elect, and then you put in Obama, headshot, you see that it comes up in Jeremiah 4, which is really interesting because this is all about the destruction of Babylon, as I said before. And it's really interesting because this ties into a comment that was made by Diana Jesus' servant, which I'll go ahead and read that right now. She's saying, I want to get your opinion on something. In these end times, we often see history repeating itself and playing out right before our eyes. I may have shared this dream with you already, but if I did, it was a while back. Over a year ago, I had this dream about the Feast of Trumpets, and I still remember it as if it happened recently. The dream starts out in Israel. I have never been. I was at a cafe with friends, sitting at a table outside. There was a big screen TV, and we were watching the news. I told my friends I wish someone would tell us what is really going on in the world. Just as I said this, Prime Minister Netanyahu walked over to our table and said loudly, Judah is falling, Judah is falling. As he said this, I looked up at the TV screen and American news was on. There were airplanes falling out of the sky, explosions going off everywhere. Then I woke up. I prayed for days because I wanted to get the exact message the Lord was trying to reveal to me. One day while in prayer, he took me to Jeremiah, where he speaks of Judah being destroyed because of their sin. This gave me chills. Not too long after this, Anne Graham Lotz spoke on TV, and it is on YouTube somewhere, and quoted Jeremiah at the same place I was taken, and she said it was a warning to America. One other person on YouTube, I don't remember, said an angel revealed to her in a dream the same thing. I was just wondering if you have done a table or can do a table with this in mind, where God is warning us that America will fall just as Judah did because of its sin. I value your opinion and take on this. I am not easily offended at any objective opinion you may have because I know you are a humble, meek, and good-hearted servant. Thank you for your time, precious sister. Blessings. Okay, so I thought that was really interesting because that's exactly what this table is doing right here. And this is actually where I noticed that it's lining up with the Obama headshot tables because it was the 11th match of the Obama third term headshot tables, and it was coming up in Jeremiah 4. But if you look at this, if you look at the very first line of this table, which I'll go ahead and read the terms at the top first. It says, Donald Trump warned people doom, USA, Obama elect. And the reason I put that in is because it's my premise that Donald Trump is a type of Elijah, not so much that he's warning about the return of Christ, but I believe that for those of us who have eyes to see and ears to hear, we can see this as the trumpet being blown. We can see it as a warning just because of his name. And so that's why I put these terms in. But as you can see, the very first line, and I'll just read it over here, it says, my anguish, I am pained at the very heart. At my very heart, my heart is disquieted in me. I cannot hold my peace because thou hast heard, O my soul, the sound of the trumpet, the alarm of war. So that's exactly what's been being pointed out just from the very first line here in this table. And like I said, this is coming up in Jeremiah 4. So this is the same matrix as this one here that reads Donald Trump, President-elect Obama headshot. And the reason I noticed that they converge in Jeremiah 4 is because if you go to the Obama headshot tables, as you can see here, if you put in Obama third term headshot, and you don't have to put the word dead, you could just put Obama third term headshot, it comes up with 13 matches. And then if you go to the 11th match, as you can see here, you see that it comes up in Jeremiah 4. So this is the same table. The Obama third term, headshot, dead. You can see the table right here. It's the same one that I came up with when I did this Donald Trump table over here. It's coming up in the same matrix. But what's interesting is that you have 13 matches when you put Obama third term headshot, and you don't need to put the word dead in. You see that there's 13 matches, and I thought that was interesting because it's in Revelation 13 that talks about the head wound. And I can talk a little bit more about the head wound later, and also show you the rest of these matches that come up, because it's really interesting to see how all 13 of these matches come up. But right now what I want to do is get back to the other table that's in Jeremiah 4, which would be this one right here. And as you can see, it comes up with 17 matches, which I thought that was interesting because we're coming up on the year 17 as well. And I put in a bunch of other terms. As you can see, all these other terms right here come up in that same table in Jeremiah 4, with the exception of this one right here. But I thought this one was interesting. I'll go ahead and show it to you now. It's actually the 6th match, which is interesting that it's match 6 out of 6. But in this one over here, I put in Don Trump, warn people, doom USA, Obama, and then I added the word Satan. And you see this came up with 6 matches, and this is the 6th one. But it's interesting how this came up because you can see the word Obama right here in the yellow. The word Trump or trumpets, over here it says, with the trumpets of alarm to sound, going right through the name Obama. And then you see the name Don right here, right on top of the word trumpet or Trump. And then this was coming up in Chronicles 13. But I just thought that was interesting how that one came up. But all the rest of these tables are coming up in Jeremiah 4, and I'll go over some of these terms as well. But I'm going to start out with this one, and you can see this one is coming up in Jeremiah 4:17 through 29, and then this other one over here, this one here was coming up in Jeremiah 4:19 through 29. So this matrix is a little bit shorter, but it was interesting how the very first line of this table, where I had put in that Donald Trump is warning about doom in the USA, and it's saying to sound the alarm or the trumpets of war right at the very top of this table. But this one has a couple of verses before that, and this one that reads Donald Trump, President-elect Obama, headshot. And you can see the word shot is coming up here in the yellow. It's right where it says, saith Jehovah thy way. It's right in this phrase right here. You have the word shot. And then you have Trump right here in the pink. It's coming right within the word president, or the abbreviation for the word president, over here in the lavender. And then you have Don over here in the light red. You have the head over here in the green. You have the word elect over here in the bluish purple. And then you have Obama going through the word elect with the letters O, B, A, M, A. Okay, so the phrase that reads, that's going right through the word Obama, the phrase over here reads, the whole land shall be a desolation, yet will I not make a full end, for this shall the earth mourn, and the heavens above be black, because I have spoken it, I have purposed it, and I have not repented, neither will I turn back from it. Every city fleeth for the noise of the horsemen and the bowmen. They go into the thickets and climb upon the rocks. Every city is forsaken, and not a man dwelleth therein. So that obviously sounds like the tribulation or the abomination of desolation. You have the word desolation right here. That's when the tribulation begins. It begins with the abomination of desolation. And that's when the heavens are going to be black, because the sun is going to be darkened and the moon is going to be blood red. And so I'll go ahead and read this matrix, and then I'll go over the rest of these terms over here probably in the next video. But I'll go ahead and read the matrix starting with verse 17. It says, as keepers of a field are they against her round about, because she hath been rebellious against me, saith Jehovah. The way and thy doings have procured these things unto thee. This is thy wickedness, for it is bitter, for it reacheth unto thy heart. My anguish, I am pained at my very heart. My heart is disquieted in me. I cannot hold my peace, because thou hast heard, O my soul, the trumpet, the sound of the trumpet, the alarm of war. Destruction upon destruction is cried, for the whole land is laid waste. Suddenly are my tents destroyed, and my curtains in a moment. How long shall I see the standard and hear the sound of the trumpet? For my people are foolish, they know me not, they are sottish children, and they have no understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. I beheld the earth, and lo, it was waste and void, and the heavens, and they had no light. I beheld the mountains, and lo, they trembled, and all the hills moved to and fro. So this sounds like the sixth seal. I beheld, and lo, there was no man, and all the birds of the heavens were fled. I beheld, and lo, the fruitful field was a wilderness, and the cities thereof were broken down at the presence of Jehovah, and before his fierce anger. Okay, so this sounds like the wrath of God being poured out at the second coming, the presence of Jehovah. And then it goes on to read, for thus saith Jehovah, the whole land shall be a desolation, yet will I not make a full end. For this shall the earth mourn, the heavens above be black, because I have spoken it, I have purposed it, and I have not repented, neither will I turn back from it. And like I said, this sounds exactly like the sixth seal. And I'm about out of time, so I'm going to have to continue with this in the next video. Thanks.